Because jealousy, in my opinion, is the root of all of these other emotions coming across now. You're jealous that I have a job and you don't. Okay, I'm upset with you. Now I want to hurt you. You have something that I don't have. That's where all of these negative emotions stem from.
The pressure of like, okay, like guys who are being recognized the most and who are being respected the most are the guys with these things.
Exactly.
And now you have that pressure of like, oh, I'm not there yet. So now you feel
But
some
then
type
at
of
the
way.
same time, you also like sit down and realize these guys are being respected on a very superficial level.
Which ones?
Like the guys who
The
have
guys
money.
that
The
are at the
luxury-
top,
the
the
luxury
luxury
guys,
guys.
yeah,
You
the
see these
luxury.
guys that groove that are always buying the most expensive bottles, coming with what's this thing, Brabas, all that stuff, that whole culture. These guys, they never really build substantial relationships with people. In fact, people view them for what they have.
And not
They,
who they
That's
are.
true.
they identify
Yeah.
with their luxury, with their money.
It becomes a personality. Yeah.
Yo, welcome back, guys. Same time, same place, every Thursday, 6 p.m. Back with the guys. See, episode 2, season 3. Lesedi or Malemo, we have new faces. Well, we have one new face and a face that you guys are very fond of, hopefully,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll let them introduce themselves. But don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to get your Policia merch and your Boyz Aloud merch. The shops are still open, so yeah, go do the right thing. It is winter, it is cold. Sweaters, hoodies, beanies, or whatever you want. We got it. So yeah, just sit back, kick back, and relax and enjoy the show. Yeah,
Who are you?
yeah.
Yo, what's good is talks. Here we have talks about deep thoughts where you can also talk down in the comments below.
Yes, sir.
Now this guy, I won't lie. Bro, I had a feeling he was gonna say it. I was just hoping
I
he
knew I
was
was
gonna
gonna
say
say
it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, short and concise.
yeah.
I'm Tandanani Murekure. New face to the boys as well, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank
Share
you.
my thoughts and also just to learn from these gents as well.
Yeah.
And learn from me. Hopefully you guys show these lovely young men some support. Nah, that would have crazy.
Yeah, and learn from me. Yeah.
As much as we're the podcast who comes with jokes and like having a good time, the vibes. We talk about some things that are deep. So for today's episode, I'm gonna try to tackle. You can't tackle this alone, so hey, bear with us. But we're gonna tackle to the best of our ability women's safety in South Africa. So before we continue, like safety means different things to all of us, especially us as the boy child or boys. So essentially, like for me, safety, my understanding of the word safety, not from Google, not from Oxford Dictionary, is just protection from any danger necessarily, or being in an environment where you're not directly exposed to danger. Because I can't say protection from danger because you can die in dumb ways to die. You can walk outside, slip, but essentially it's this thing of sorry, my bad. These guys,
Outside and slim.
I mean, it happens, bro.
Oh yeah.
Dumb ways to die, you feel me? I grew up watching that show. So essentially, that's my understanding. But I don't know how you guys feel about my answer. You guys that can add to it, or you feel like it more or less is the foundation? What you saying?
Yeah, more or less, that's the foundation.
These guys are staring into each other's eyes and like none of us gets the memo.
No,
What you
but
say?
I think, linking from what you're saying, I think you got the point done because it's like you can't really, escape from certain things. But I think safety and because I think the best way I can think about it from when I was studying this week-ish, but we had spoken about dealing with risk.
Yeah.
And the definition of risk
Yeah.
and how you deal with it and the levels of it. So I think the main thing is an event with the risk. It's something that's going to happen whether it's going to happen or not, because that's life. You are bound to get into risk, but it's only the thing of being proactive instead of actively dealing with the risk. And then just managing, okay, how are we going to go according to this? Like, for example, when you don't have like the risk of not having money, how are you
Yeah.
going to do that? And then
Yeah.
in this case
Yeah, true.
with women, like they have to consider the risk of like, okay, when I step out of the house, 1 2 1 2, how are they gonna
That
manage that risk?
crazy, yeah.
So,
Also, it's risk
And I think, yeah, it is just management.
I think it's like understanding that the possibilities of you being in danger are like inevitable. Like you can't fully be safe; it's impossible. But just working with that thought, that reality, working with that reality is more beneficial. Because at the end of the day, I don't think you can be fully safe. Like even one
Yeah.
fully safe at the end of
Like,
the day.
yeah, us as guys, we don't live in a utopia, but it sucks that the reason for not being safe is because of other guys. Like other guys who are dealing with whatever. They're like, hey, let me test my luck and do this. Not necessarily talking about being mugged and all of that extreme, crimes. They have to take that into consideration. And it's unfortunate because you see with the recent case or the case that sent are like a huge wave of anger and frustration to South Africa's justice system and men. Talking specifically about the Lorato case and us understanding that she did try, with safety measures using I find and all of that.
Yeah,
She
shout
had
out
these-
to Lorato and the family
and like we send her condolences and
Yeah,
all of that.
condolences.
But essentially, like we know that she tried, to have these safety measures and all of that. Essentially, risk management, and it didn't work, and that's the messed up part, bro. Because essentially, it's like now as a human being, or specifically focusing on women, like what can you do now? You have to go outside and now start thinking for things that don't even happen in your life. Hey, someone may come with a helicopter land, like bro, come on now. It's like you have to think out of the box, and that's messed up because us as guys, we're doing that because of our poor mental health. Whatever we did, the anger and all of that, we're causing these things.
There's a lot of unresolved things that men. Yeah.
But why do you think that is, though?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons, bro.
I think sometimes we can clear that there are criminals out there who are criminals with intention.
Okay.
And that's the thing. So the problem is that it's their agenda to do what they want to do. Obviously, we don't understand why. And the best we could do is that, yo, bro, please stop. But
Not even please stop.
Yeah.
Like, bro, the
Stop,
fact we must say please on our knees, please, I'm sorry. Like, bro, like you're hurting other people, bro.
so the fact
That's
that
selfish.
the fact that it's some of them, that's their agenda, and I'm afraid that's the world we live in today. And the best thing we could do is like what Tanda said, is that like we need proper risk management. We need to know where we're going. We need to know whether a certain place is safe or not to be there. I mean, yes, it cannot save us 100%, but if we can take those actions into consideration, then we can help
Okay,
ourselves.
so what about situations? You said criminals with intention. So what about the men out there? You can't even look at him and even think twice about him being a criminal. He's just a regular guy, and they still get away with half the things, or actually all the things that a criminal with intention can get away with. What about the guys out there, regular guys like us, bro? Or who still do the same things? Because there's so many of them.
I think when it comes to getting away with it, it's more of like you have did it before and you got away and you can do it again. Because like I said, if it's a first time thing, I don't think you would be as comfortable with it. Like I said, there's no intention, like I mean, even if you want to do something bad, like the first time doing it, I don't think it's at ease for you to
But
do.
now at the same time, most of the times when these guys do these things, they do that out of what Weddy said, repression. It's all unresolved, like emotional backlash and stuff that's just going on within. So now, the issue here is, from what I'm seeing, from what you've said so far,
Yeah.
basically these guys don't
Hey
have-
guys, it's flu, so bear with us. I mean, not flu,
But
it's
it's because
cold.
of
So
the
yeah,
TMI,
bear with us. Yeah. So just bear with us.
My bad.
Like,
So,
Yeah, you're saying.
I don't think that there are proper outlets for these guys to come out and
do
just
that,
say,
yeah.
look, I feel this way, I feel this way. And me personally, I think it all comes down to the conceptualization of a man.
I personally think that there are proper outlets, in my opinion, because essentially these issues that these criminals or men rather are dealing with, whether it's pressure, whether it's depression, and all of that, us as other regular dudes, we do experience them, but essentially we don't result to the same things. Like I'm not gonna, I'll have a girl reject me. I'm like, okay, next girl I see, I'm gonna kill her. No, essentially I deal with it however I'm gonna deal with it based on what I've seen has worked for me,
Also-
and I'm not gonna resort to
So-
those
so I
But
was
means.
then
saying,
at the
like-
same time, not everyone has those kinds of like thought processes.
Mm.
I remember I asked like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've asked like every man in my life. currently,
Okay.
How do you deal with your emotions as a man?
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly been around the same thing.
Mm.
Like it's mainly gravitated towards the just fight through it or just push it down. Thug it out.
Yeah, thug it
Exactly.
out.
Even that whole thing, that whole
Thug it out.
Thug it
thing of
out.
just
I'ma
thug it
thug
out,
it
that
out,
whole
yeah.
culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you can't thug it out, guys. Sometimes you genuinely can't.
But I also think it's like part of the environments that they're accustomed to. Like I would use the biggest example, like even just going to the thing of thugging it out as a gent. Like if you can look at the whole thing as like boys being boys, that kind of culture or the environment of like to what he was saying, like the guys who we don't think who could be capable of doing these things, like they get to be in the environment where they'll get accustomed to it and they'll tolerate it and they'll accept it. Like
Accept it, yeah.
like it's like when you give someone like drugs the first time, like in the company of people who do that.
Who do it exactly?
So the thing now, it's normalized. Let me do it, and then when they go into other environments where they do it themselves, they don't know just based on that starting point of being there that okay, now this is fine. Because then when they'll continue and be like, nah, it's fine. Like there's no consequences. Like because they don't see the consequences, they just know, yeah, no, I can do it, and then hence of the thing of we are thugging it out, and we don't have outlets of like a healthy environment of like okay, if let's say Nkwati and there's a way to resolve it. Most gens in that boy culture, like you can use the example of old boys school, gens there majority of the time would resort to like the resolution of like let's fight and let's do this thing.
Yeah, let's fight it
Yeah.
out.
Compared to if you like in a school of both boys and girls, there's a way we need to like also
do it,
like manage your conflict or even just in general you must manage yourself. But most gents get into that accustomed thing of like okay, this is how we do it and it's acceptable and they continue.
So under a certain light, we're saying like men, and I'm gonna be as blunt, men killing women is them dealing with suppressed issues in a way.
Another thing also,
In a sense.
Like
I can
essentially
say it's in a
men,
sense.
like men inflicting violence, whether it's gonna be killing, physical, just
In a sense.
fighting.
But here's the thing.
Yeah,
Serial killers are not born serial killers.
you don't think so?
I don't think so.
I think it's
No.
I
I
think
think
it's
It's a
something.
nurtured thing. It's a nurtured
yeah.
thing. Your
Okay,
environment
well,
plays
okay,
into
okay,
that.
Yeah.
okay. Let's
Look at like
Okay.
the story of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah,
That guy
okay,
was
yeah.
in his basement dissecting animals with his dad. That was the only way you could be close to that nigga. And he was like, okay, let me dissect a
A
person.
person,
Yeah.
and then it became
Exactly.
a habit.
It became a habit.
Yeah.
It was that repressed thing of wanting to feel loved by his
But
dad.
now that now we go to mental issues now. You know, like
But I think it could even be
But then-
deeper than just
It's deeper than
like
that.
mental. Hence, like that thing
Ish.
of like your bringing, because those things can
but
stem into
no,
your.
but no, my take is like his dad doing that. His dad didn't say, "Yo, we're doing it with people." So what makes him think that he can do it with people?
But
What makes it
That's
say
the thing,
stems,
it's not
it's a
even how
pattern
he-
that stems from something.
Yeah.
You can take it like depending on where
But that
where you can take it. Yes, you can start from somewhere. Like okay, yes, when you're dissecting animals, and then you could be curious and like, okay, now what's the alternative?
But now, is that curiosity to a human? Is that where the problem? That's the problem for you to have that
That's the
mindset.
thing. He became
of the-
desensitized to it.
He's done it so many
He's done it
times.
so many times that now dissecting an animal. Just
But okay, he's done
It's
it so
like-
many times.
he's
But there's a point where he did it the first time. That's the
That's
problem
the
that they
thing.
said he's talking about.
Yeah,
He did it the
that's
first
the
time.
point.
That's the thing
Yeah.
about
Like-
addiction. When you do something for the first time, for like, wow, you have all of this dopamine rush, right? Essentially, you do it again, you become numb, and you're like, you know what? Let me do something more extreme.
So I
You
can
do it
feel
so you
something.
feel that
Okay.
dopamine rush
Okay,
again.
right.
okay.
Let's take it, and then when it comes to okay, now bring it back to the context of woman.
Yeah.
Nah, in that sense,
Mm.
there's like I said, you know, there's a thing where like people have done it before and they get away with it. And now another thing is that maybe also some maybe it may not be as bad as killing, but you do hear cases of guys who took advantage of a woman, the woman being aware of that, but she just let it slide. That guy got away with it. And that already, there are some women out there who allow things to happen to them, even though they
keep
know it's
quiet.
not right, and they keep quiet and they let it slide. And then guys can get away with that, and they think now they can do it with any other person. But now, to that extent, it increases to more hectic things like killing.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So now I think it's more so in a sense that yes, guys, we do have issues and all of that, but I don't want to put that as an excuse that you don't have an outlet or whatever the case is. You know what's wrong, you know what's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether you sad or whatever, honestly, bro.
Yeah, we cannot justify.
you
We
cannot
cannot justify it.
that.
Though.
So
Yeah, we
look,
cannot.
On one
Yeah.
end, I would say yes. There's looking at the result.
Yeah.
What's happening now? This is where we are. Let's deal with it the way we can. But now at the same time, some situations you can't solve like that. Some situations you need to look at the root. You can't just cut a weed in the grass. and
It'll
expect
grow
it to
again.
not come back. You need to look deeper.
Okay, so now that's the thing we're trying to understand is that, okay, with other people who do these things, do you think it's from the root, or do you think it's now because remember
It's a habit.
it's
that's
a
been
habit
built.
now, because now it's like, okay, I've seen this guy do it. For me, it's not from the root, because I've seen he has problems that it's from the root that he started doing all these things. But now, no, not him, man. But now for me, it's like I saw him do it. I never had problems. I had no problems from the root, but I do it anyway because I see he can get away with it. And maybe that's where the problem is now.
That's essentially like the hybrid or the consequence of that thing initiating. Essentially, you get other third parties viewing it. I'm like, okay, let me try this. Essentially, people who don't have a problem, they're like, oh, okay, let me do this.
Let
Like,
me do it, yeah.
they're just doing it. Essentially, they don't have a problem, or they may have a problem. In my opinion, if you're doing something like that, you have a problem. But then because of the in that
Some don't have a
environment,
problem,
so you believe that certain people who don't have a problem but happen to be in that same environment, they watch people do that and do it as well.
Me, like I'm saying, with certain things.
Yeah.
Especially the case of Lorato or whatever.
Okay.
I don't want to dive into it that most of. But like, if guys were to resort to maybe killing someone or killing a female, maybe there's other reasons. You
Okay.
understand? Maybe it could be like I did something to her. The fact that she's still alive can, take me out. So let me just take her out.
Okay.
You understand? Maybe you would find the intention was not killing. Maybe he had raped or whatever. But it's like, okay, now she knows I raped and whatever. And now if she spills the beans, because she's still alive, so she can, let me just eliminate.
Yeah, but you see how many problems men
That's so
have then,
weak,
bro. There's so many
But still,
problems.
though, that's like such a weak way to view things. because
Yeah.
You can't take accountability for your actions.
But I mean,
that mindset-
You did what you did.
that
You did
mindset-
what you face the
It's like-
accountability of your
That
actions.
mindset of like
100%.
I did something wrong, I can't let this happen or be exposed to society. Let me do another thing wrong. Essentially, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, there's many
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah,
there's a
there's
starting
something
there's
wrong
a
with
start
you.
there's a starting point.
Yeah, yeah.
This is nothing new under the
There's something
sun.
wrong
Like
with
it happened, and essentially you're allowing it to grow within you. And now that you've done it to one person, you're gonna do it to another person.
Exactly. Exactly.
But like, no, but genuinely, James, then do you guys actually think that men could do all these acts, commit all these crimes, and it's all just off the basis of some suppressed anger or suppressed emotions or just underlying issues? Or are some men just like this, like it?
Criminals.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's why it's very important that when we don't generalize the killing of women being one situational thing, because not every man is okay. Some guys who kill women is because maybe they're in a relationship with that woman and things happen. Obviously, we don't allow that to happen. Like, don't kill. But now we cannot come with the assumption that you kill a woman and it's because you are emotional or because you are mentally.
yeah,
I get
unstable.
People
I
have their
get
own
that.
reasons
bro.
to why they feel like they kill a woman. And I mean, obviously, it's a weak thing to do. You cannot do that.
But the thing is, what's difficult with this thing is that it's very tough to even resolve something like this because we even have to look at like psychological concepts like nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
That's an ongoing debate that's been going on, and I don't think it's coming close to being solved. You know,
Yeah, it's just that for me, it's a thing of when you look at maybe some guys, if you have two cases, one guy, I killed someone, why? I don't know. Okay, you're sick, mentally ill, whatever.
Yeah,
Another
just
guy
lock
killed
him up,
someone,
bro.
why? And maybe I'll give you other stories. I don't know if you guys heard of a situation where one of the guys killed a student because now he paid the school fees and all of that for that woman to cheat on him.
Oh, and then he killed her.
Then he killed her. And it's wrong. You cannot kill. You cannot kill at all. But then it's like, I understand that, yo, bro, you are heartbroken. But dog, you were not supposed to
Wants
kill.
to kill.
Yeah.
But now, you see, that situation is different compared to one who's just killing women.
Yeah, but then you see in situations like that, man.
So now we also need to address and come with the thing of like, okay, Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, nah. I hear you. And with a situation like that, nah, the man was paying for the woman, the school fees.
Yes.
Essentially, he's just providing financial aid, right? He's helping her. Okay, cool. You see, that seems like something that's been going on an ongoing basis. Because paying for school fees, I mean, it's a monthly thing, maybe or whatever. Nah, but it seems like it's a thing that it was out of habit, out of love for him. He did it because he loved her. She cheated on him. He killed her.
But now, here's the problem. I think the problem there lies in the fact that he thinks that him being financial aid means that he can do whatever he
He
wants.
wants to. That's what I was about to say. Because
But
maybe
now-
like men build this perception, like this mindset where okay, I'm doing things for her. So now she's mine. Like, I own her a little bit.
This goes back.
She
this goes
owes
back-
me loyalty and respect and yada yada.
This goes back to
And
my
it's
whole
like, you
what I
know.
was saying when I said it goes down to our whole conceptualization of manhood. Because it's even in like things like patriarchy.
Oh, bro, I need to dub you up. I was waiting for you to finish speaking so I could say that, bro. Thank you
It's
so
literally
much.
patriarchy, because patriarchy taught us men that it's better to be feared than to be loved.
That dominance,
This is something
that
yes,
dominance
yes.
is not a bad
Exactly.
thing.
Yes.
Exactly.
And there's actually just one thing I once heard. I just forgot where I heard it, but it kind of links to what Talks just said.
Yeah.
And it's important for it's yo. Nah. Cut. Now we're good. Inside joke. But anyways, moving on. Nah, but anyways. Oh, hey.
You did just that. That's well.
Nah, we're good. But nah, anyways, just thinking to what Talks just said now. I'd mostly direct this message to men because, mostly men, I guess, have this mindset. And not even just men in relationships, but like even with fathers and just anyone, like fathers, older men, elders, women. Men usually expect people to like respect them out of fear and not out of love, right?
Out of admiration.
Yeah, not out of admiration. Because I don't think most men understand that, like, if someone, a woman, your son, or whoever else, respects you because they're scared of you, it is different if from the respect that they give you because they love you.
Right.
And you'd rather prefer to gain respect from someone who loves you than someone who's scared of you.
But now
Because
here's the issue then.
Yes.
The whole manhood as a whole.
yeah, exactly.
'Cause now-
yeah.
Think about it in terms of us. We're now going to be the new men in our family. We're the new men. But now the question is, we're talking about these issues now. But then what are we going to do to solve them? We don't know where to go.
Yeah, bro.
Our old men had never taught us how to deal with our emotions properly.
Exactly.
Because they resorted to pushing it down, to thugging it out.
Do you
Yeah,
think they
they-
knew how to resolve their problems?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, obviously.
Exactly. But that's the
I mean,
thing.
it's
That's the
generational
thing.
thing.
It does-
It's a generational thing.
It's a generational curse,
That's the
bro.
thing.
As
It's
being
the
a
thing.
guy.
Because even them, they
Like-
were not taught
it's like,
either.
It's like
Yeah,
there's no
they were
formula.
definitely not taught.
They were definitely
They
They
not
were
taught.
definitely not
Exactly.
taught. Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe-
So
maybe-
it's a thing that we need to start stepping up now as the next generation. We need to start teaching our sons, look, it's
Yeah.
okay to cry.
But I think that
Dog.
like before, but I
Yeah.
think like before we even conceptualize the idea of like for the next generation, what are we doing for ourselves as a start? Because
No.
the same seed that you could be forming now to carry into your next kids, like it should start with yourself. Like,
But
even-
here's the thing:
man.
this
Yeah,
whole
you start
thing,
with
you
yourself.
can't
Facts.
change this thing in the future if you don't change it now.
Yeah.
You can't.
Facts.
So you have to start here now.
With us.
Otherwise, it's not going to change in the future.
You need to exactly.
Okay, maybe going back to you see how I understood that whole fear of respect thing, whatever. It wasn't from my perspective. I didn't think it was from a woman viewing a man. It was a man viewing
from
another
a man.
man.
Now, but I'm saying even
You
with
get
even,
it.
I'm saying even in the context of a woman and a man, you have a wife, nah. But you demand respect from your wife, right? Everyone wants a woman who's going to respect them at the end of the day. But
now-
I would prefer my partner to respect me out of love than for her to respect me because she's scared of me. Because
Yeah.
why should she be scared?
Yeah,
You
that one,
understand?
100%.
I get
Yes.
that one.
Yeah.
I think with that saying of like respect out of fear, it was men amongst men.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Because maybe if I were to ask you, you would still prefer
Definitely.
a man to respect out of love.
Out of love, yeah.
All the other men,
Because why you scared of me?
Yeah.
You understand? Like, yeah. So I don't know, bro. I feel like that it's that thing that men just need to understand, bro.
I think even, especially when it comes to how to deal with our emotions or whatever the case is, like, I mean, there are guys
I
out there
think
who know how to do
For
it.
me,
No, but the thing is, that's the big thing. Do most gens know how to handle the emotions?
That's the
the
thing.
thing is,
Even if you find some guy that does know how to manage the emotions, it's mainly because he's around a lot of women, or other guys find like they're gonna view him and think of him as he's homosexual now because now he cries and stuff like that.
that's I was gonna say.
I
Oh
don't
no,
think that's the
I was gonna
I
nah.
don't
To
think
be
that's
honest,
the case.
I was gonna say that I personally understand my own emotions, but I have trouble expressing them to society because I don't think there's an environment for me to do so. So I ask myself, do I seek power or emotional connection? Because if I want emotional connection, is an environment for me to express myself in that way without being viewed in a bad way. For example, or as a weak man. For example, in that episode with the girls.
Yeah.
The first
Roseanne
one.
and them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Cartoon and them.
Oh,
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, back then.
No, that's previous before the one.
yeah.
And I'm sorry, I forgot her name. My
Season one,
apologies.
guys.
Yeah, season one. She asked. No, we mentioned like what a question like, what are you gonna do if your husband cries, something along the lines. And she said, yeah, you can cry, but what are you gonna do? Essentially,
No,
like,
but that's a good question though.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep crying then what? Like you can cry, sure.
yeah,
It's okay to have that time where you express yourself. You need to know when the right time and the right place is to break down, but you still need to build yourself back up.
yes.
You can't just
Now
stay
that
there as a pile of
that
stone.
is important, right? But in order for myself to have that mindset of building myself up, I need someone who can emotionally connect with me so that I can do that.
Okay,
I need an
want
environment to do
understand,
that.
Okay,
You feel
when
me?
you're solving your emotions, right?
Yeah.
When you're trying to solve your emotions,
Yeah.
What emotion do you want from that? Do you wanna be happy? Do you wanna be content? Like, what are you looking for?
And I'm the type of-
I think it's just to be stable.
Yes.
I just want peace.
Yes.
I just want peace. That's it. Because it's like at the end of the day, nah, if someone is obviously bothered, right, crying or whatever, but just an unstable place
Person, yeah.
emotionally, somehow maybe it might affect them mentally, etc., etc. But remember, speaking about mental health at the end of the day, nah,
Yeah.
it's under that umbrella of mental health for men. Right?
Yeah.
When someone wants to speak about their emotions, what they want is just like someone to hear them, and it like just for peace, bro. I don't want to be happy. I'm not gonna be happy, you know. But I also want to be sad. I don't
Like,
wanna
you
be
want to
angry.
be heard.
Yeah, I just want to be heard. I just want
Essentially, it's a
peace.
thing of like I'm talking about it so that I can move past it.
Do you think
I-
friends wanna be heard? Let's be honest.
I
Do you
wanna-
think
I
friends
wanna be heard. 'Cause
Or do
in
you
one-
wanna be
I wanna-
useful or noticed?
No, I want to
See,
wait.
that's the
This,
exact
wait,
problem
wait.
with
wait, but what's the
society right
difference,
there.
though? What's
That's
the
Okay,
that's
but
the
let's
exact issue.
Yeah, what's the-
let's be specific.
But that's
You
the
can
exact
go.
issue.
I think
Yeah.
that's the thing is that like my issue is that like okay,
Oh, wait.
when we're solving our emotion as men, it's because there's a problem, right? When we're solving that problem, we explain that problem, but we come from the narrative that that problem must be solved, or else we're still gonna be emotional,
yeah.
because that problem is not solved.
Yeah.
So being heard and not the problem being solved is not helping anything.
Yeah.
You understand? So now, instead of that, maybe in that case, it's like, okay, maybe what you could do is, it's more of, instead of hearing him, see him for who he is, acknowledge him. Acknowledge him, then him speaking out. It's like, okay, I see there's a man out there, bro. Like, I get you. Like, no, dog, you're doing well. I don't need to hear your stories. You may be going with whatever you're going through, but you're doing well, and keep it up.
Okay.
Maybe that could be enough for maybe that's how I feel guys could.
That
I don't know.
depends. That depends on
The situation.
on the situation. Yes, you can like resort to just like amping him up to like to continue, because it goes into again what we were saying, like target out, like okay, like we've been down now, okay, get yourself together, suit up and carry on. Some gens, it's more than just like you're going into the thing or just suiting up. Sometimes if you just encourage him, yes, like for momentarily it will help, but if you just like, because I've had moments with my boys, and I'm blessed to even have that with my boys, where it's like, if there's moments where we feel like we can't handle things alone, like where we can't talk about stuff, like we'd even like call each other up, or even like just meet up and just be like, nah, it's like, let's see each other out and just hear what's going on with our bruise. And then you just understand, yes, you see him as a gent and as a man, because we all like, majority of us are like young men growing up in our 20s, and even just hearing each other out on certain things, like even from the thing of dealing with death or like heartbreaks
Heartbreak.
or like career shift, or even like dealing with schools, the pressures of everything.
Yeah.
Like even just hearing him out is more than just like, okay, Ntana, pat on the back, because we're so used to this thing of, okay, I pat you on the back, get up and move on. Like yes, ideally, that's what we
Yeah.
been
Doing.
trained
Trained
to
to
do.
do, yeah.
And look, it's something I don't think you should move away from that, but I think there's certain things you must just know how to navigate properly.
I agree. I think that thing of like, is how you feel, pat on the back, move on, but then occasionally have that thing of like, yo guys, like let's talk. You know, so just how I'm going through, is how I'm feeling right now, and then do it. Essentially, that creates an environment amongst your people you can trust, your boys. And then you also realize that, bro, this guy's also going through the same thing. So it's like, wow, like I'm not suffering. And like before we just proceed, I just want to quickly read these stats, you know, regarding men's mental health. I know we're not specifically talking about that. We're just talking about issues and pressures. But then one stat that really speaks out to me is what I want to address right now. So these stats are by Will Hinch. Shout out to you, bro. Anyway, 77% of men that did this poll have suffered with symptoms of common mental health conditions such as anxiety, stress, or depression. But then 40% of those men have never spoke to anyone about them. Right?
Say 40% out of the 70%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're the only one who knows how they truly feel. Then 29% of those say that they're too embarrassed to speak about it, while 20% of those 29% say that there's a negative stigma towards doing that.
Speaking.
Yes. The biggest cause of men's mental health is due to their finances and their health.
Finances.
And I really like that, bro, because with me
Finances.
as a guy, especially in 2025, where there is pressure, bro. As into, hey, bro, you gotta get your bag up. You have to get your bag up, bro. If you wanna be with me, and like also another thing you gotta accept as a guy is that unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's a blessing to be honest for women, but they do economically progress faster than us, in my opinion.
They do.
So you just need to accept that, you know, you shouldn't have that affect your pride, but essentially have that as something to appreciate for whoever, your partner, your mom, your auntie, and so on, but also use that as motivation. Like, you know what, let me also work on my grind. So to create this environment of not being jealous of each other, you know, because jealousy, in my opinion, is the root of all of these other emotions coming across now. You're jealous that I have a job and you don't. Okay, I'm upset with you. Now I want to hurt you. You know, you have something that I don't have. That's where all of these negative emotions stem from.
Yeah, and like
finance,
truth be told, like if you talk about money, you're bringing money to, in the context of young gens, where everyone wants it, you know.
Facts.
Especially as a guy, bro, in 2025 in the economy of South Africa, bro. Like there's people your age who are so rich,
Bro.
rich, actually, like
Yeah.
actually no, like like it's a, you know, and it's like, hey, bro, hey, wait, I guess maybe can have some anger down there. It's like, damn, bro, why don't I have it now? But bro, I don't know. I don't think your time will come, bro.
I think even to that, like
I don't
finances,
know.
I think people also blow it out of proportion because now it's the luxury of that finance. Because sometimes you could be good with what you have, bro. Like you
The
just
issue-
look at what
the
you
issue
have
now-
now
Yeah,
and
that's
be
true.
content
Also-
with that
that's
one
true.
also.
The issue is also in like
It's the pressure of like, okay, like guys who are being recognized the most and who are being respected the most are the guys with these things. And
exactly.
now you have that pressure of like, oh, I'm not there yet. So now you feel
But
some
then
type
at
of
the
way.
same time, you also like sit down and realize these guys are being respected on a very superficial level.
Which ones?
Like the guys
The
have money.
guys that
The
are at the
luxury-
top,
the
the
luxury
luxury
guys,
guys.
yeah, the
See these
luxury.
guys that groove that are always buying the most expensive bottles, coming with a
Yeah.
what's this thing, brabas, all that stuff, that whole culture. These guys, they never really build substantial relationships with people. In fact, people view them for what they have.
And not
They,
who they
That's
are.
true.
they identify
Yeah.
with their luxury, with their money.
It becomes their personality.
You see?
Yeah.
Now that's where they start bringing in their own manhood and thinking, I have money, I'm a man. When in reality, money doesn't make you a man.
Nah, money doesn't make you a man.
Money doesn't make
Okay,
you.
but
Okay,
it
we don't
goes
want to
into
go to as a man.
but it
Oh,
goes into
yeah.
We don't want to go
that's-
because
that's too much.
Because my
That's
argument
too-
is,
Yeah,
guys,
do not
man is a
say.
man.
Nah,
Whether he's a bad man or
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
you
Thank
cannot
you,
take a
thank
man
you.
away
Yeah.
from a man.
Yes.
Or a man is a bad man, whether
Yeah.
poor, rich, whatever. Man
Definitely.
is
He's a man.
Definitely.
Okay, but
Yeah,
this
so-
goes to like the 2 points. Like, okay, I would say the last one because it's like a statement that I just believe in, like genuine. But I think like the money part, like if you look at what most of the men are like, even like in competition with whether men and women, and now the fact that women are now like, bro, they're rapid at like being sole providers, and
That's the thing.
the fact that women have got that ability to be sole providers, where back in the day in South Africa, like as a household, who were known as the sole providers.
Man.
Patriarchy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you see?
patriarchy.
And then since women have gotten the ability to do what men do as sole providers and providers, but at a scale where it's like when and now as a gent in 2025, you can even be like, I feel like you can just put your hands up and support it. But it's either a thing of an ego thing, a security thing, where it's like you can either feed it or you can support it.
So yeah,
Because I'll speak from my view, like from my home girls, like majority of them are working, and me, I find that like suppose because I was like, okay, now me also do the same thing, but I can't also expect myself to want to compete band for band on certain things that one I'm not there or just based on my ego, and this goes to my second point. Honestly, gents, nah. The guys who have issues with women succeeding and doing these great things, like you can even look at Lorato and women, like in general, like in their careers, because the women that they're targeting are one, successful, they're stable. So now when you're targeting them, what does that say about yourself when you're targeting people who are doing better than you because
Yeah.
of your insecurities?
Yeah.
Like honestly, grow up.
That's
Jen.
so true, bro.
Like it's the reality. It's either there's either two ways you can accept it. It's either you do your thing in your own lane and be content with it, or just do better. But not now you're gonna
That's
go
true.
attack
I don't
women.
know. I've never understood a guy that'll get mad at another woman because he's doing
No,
better.
but you can see it on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's what I'm just saying. Me personally, I just couldn't. In fact, she would motivate me more than anything.
Dude, you
I need to go hard.
you see it in the smallest things. Like even for me, like in my household, for example, my mom wants to do A, B, and C. My dad's like, nah, let me do it. Like it's just that thing of like a guy, to be honest with you. And yes, it's a good thing because you're caring, but it's a bad thing because you're overstepping. You're kind of undermining what your partner or whoever it is you're with, or what they're capable of doing. And essentially, it kind of ties down to pride.
I think-
Like I'm the
yeah.
person who's supposed to do A, B, and C,
I
and D,
think it
etc.
actually mainly ties down into a man's utility. How useful are you?
And I
People
think
around you.
a lot of guys like have a fear. I'm not assuming. I've had this fear once upon a time that if I can't provide, then essentially I don't have a purpose. But that's far from the truth, bro. And it's just that of course there's a lot of women in society who view you for what you can provide and not who you are.
That's the thing. That's what I wanted to highlight
Yeah,
as well. Because
definitely.
at the end of the day, you'd find that the women who view guys as providers, you look at the majority, and that's where you get to understand, okay, if majority of women are looking for guys who will be providers, and it's difficult for guys to get to that standard, then it would make sense why now it's tough for guys to get what they want. Because majority of women is asking for this.
That's crazy because
Yeah,
I had
'cause
this, I had
it's
this
some-
conversation with a lot of like.
Even if you know it's not necessary, but if majority of women are looking for this, guys will be succumb to that pressure because majority of the women, every 10 girls you see are asking for this.
Facts.
So you'll succumb to that pressure of this is what you need to do.
That's
I've
true.
seen that because, and it's funny because with guys, if you ask a guy, what do you look for in a woman? Peace. 90% of the time you hear peace of mind. I just want peace of mind.
Alright, but
This is why you see-
let's
this is why
talk
you
about
see-
this peace thing.
Yeah, which is why you'll see some guys, a guy will talk to a girl that he sees working at KFC. A woman will never bat an eye at that guy if
That's-
there's a guy in that position.
That's
at
true, bro.
KFC.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
Like-
It could be a guy who's very.
But you
Like,
know what's
it's-
funny
it's-
though, guys?
it's-
You know what's funny about this peace
funny?
thing?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't wanna like generalize or be stereotypical about anything, man. But like, you gotta look at peace in the proper ways. That like, sometimes, like me and my friend the other time, we were
Yeah.
talking about, we want peace. But you know, dog, hey, the beautiful ones.
That's
With-
facts,
with
bro.
the trouble.
The beautiful ones,
The
guys.
beautiful ones, yes,
and
yes,
and
bro.
it's not even their fault. That's the
no peace.
thing,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
It's not even their fault, dog. Like, it's that thing with like, okay, like I said before, I don't want to stereotype or generalize, but it's not their fault, bro. If she's beautiful, bro,
Yes,
a
no
lot of
peace.
guys are looking at her, dog.
Yeah, yeah.
And our peace as guys is that's not what we want. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I see.
But it happens.
So you gotta choose your struggle.
No, and then there's you have to choose your struggle. But also, I mean, I think at the end of the day, just as a male, you know, bro, if you are insecure about that, man,
That's the thing.
it's more about you, bro.
Yeah, true.
Not her. At the end of the day, you know how I look at situations where it's a woman and other men and me. It's like, bro, you cannot blame those other guys.
Yeah, true.
Man.
You need to find your
she's
peace.
you need to find your own peace.
Yeah.
Like you said in the other episode, she cannot make you happy. She must find you happy.
Happy, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if
Same thing with peace.
exactly the
thing.
same thing. That's what I want to
Exactly.
say. So I don't know, bro. I mean,
So,
That's
but
why you
like,
get a lot of these attachment issues, people. Because, in my opinion, if someone's attached to you, it means that they're lacking somewhere.
yeah, true.
You see.
But like I said, going back to the case of femicide, women being killed, and all of that, we need to look at it and be like, okay, with these cases, we cannot just look at it on the top surface level and be like, oh, women. We need to dive deep and be like, okay, majority of the women who were killed by guys, what was it for? Was it relationship wise? Was it a thing that, okay, you know what, there was a toxic relationship?
or was it just anger?
Or
Was it jealousy?
Because
Was
yes,
whatever, yeah.
we're humans, but obviously you act to a certain degree. You cannot kill people. You cannot like. But I get it, bro. Like it's not easy to walk away, especially if you invested in someone that you loved, and then for them to turn your back and do something that really hurts you.
Yeah.
Telling another guy,
get that.
just walk away. It's not easy, guys. We're human.
Definitely, it's not easy.
We're not Superman, bro. You understand? And it's that thing all like, okay, but guys, don't kill. You don't have to kill. But I know. Let's acknowledge, guys, as guys, that girls, it is not easy. If you guys just flip it like that and be like next morning, because girls can just decide in the morning.
You know that makes me
without any explanation.
Definitely.
what
And
amuses
now,
me.
as a guy, is like, okay,
Yeah.
100%.
When you speak about it's not easy, you remind me of Nora Vincent. I'm sure for those of you who don't know, she was an author, and she wrote this book. I think it's called Self-Made Man, right? And her aim was to not aim actually. The research or the way she conducted some of the chapters of the research of this book is that she actually, as a female, disguised as a man. So essentially, she went to bowling clubs. She dated some woman. She did some things that guys do, right? And she did a really good job in disguising as a guy. And at the end of a study, actually, this is how it was, quote unquote. She said, men are suffering. They have different problems than women have, but they don't have it better. They need our sympathy, they need our love, and they need each other more than anything else. They need to be together. So this is her quote after conducting this research. Before, she was like, nah, like being a man, like, it's not that bad. It's not that difficult. She did it and realized it was so difficult that it actually put her into depression. I started to be corrected, but it put her into depression and she committed suicide because she realized that it was difficult, being a guy, essentially.
I know she was a woman in the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. Essentially, like she was designed to be a woman, so she can't be a guy. But then, through society's perspective, they didn't know she was a woman.
She was a woman.
So she noticed that the troubles they go through, the oppression, all of that, and it put her into depression, a deep depression. So essentially, like bro, what you're saying, is true. It's not easy.
It's not easy, bro.
So hey.
And the thing is that we meant to be tough for that.
Yeah, I think the thing with men, bro, is like men also go through a lot, bro, in their own respective way, and men in general in society around the world actually.
Yeah.
But it's like men carry a lot, bro. It's to be competitive, it's to be better, to have more money, to have the baddest girl in the room. There's a lot of things. You understand? And all those things just build up pressure, right? To be this specific person, to have this specific image, to be this guy, bro. You understand? And it's like, it's unnecessary, bro.
I hear that.
Literally at the cracks of it, bro, at the end of the day, it is so unnecessary to want to be that. You understand? I just don't think it's worth it as men to fight all these surrounding influences and these factors to be that guy and this guy and competitive here in this nature and competitive in that nature. Like, why? Why?
That's
You
why I was
understand?
like,
I think I can-
Because just because society promotes it doesn't mean
it's
it's right. You understand?
Yeah.
So, like some things that society just promotes. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's generations that we just mentioned. Our fathers, their fathers probably never taught them that,
Exactly.
so they never taught us correctly. But we want to change it now in this generation, right? Yeah, so it has never been right, bro. It's never been.
But then at the same time, with this changing it as well, we need to start looking at the women to start learning from them.
Yeah, and also
We need to
women
write
women
notes.
need to start looking and learning from
And
us.
then also
I
we
think
also
we
need to
need to
correct
learn
We need to
women
be
as
together.
well.
We need to learn from each
Yeah,
other.
We need to
facts.
correct women as well.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you mentioned, like what you're saying, the whole pressure and competition. Where does it come from? Because we said it, guys, that if there was just
Yeah,
a world
for sure.
where there was men only,
Only.
what would we have? Like, would a Lamborghini matter, bro?
Thank you.
That's the thing,
bro.
You get what I'm
That's
saying?
right,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
so
boy,
it's that
yeah.
point. We're like, we'll just have a Bible, a gun, and dumbbells.
Just in case. Just in case.
Just in case.
Nah, I won't lie.
You understand?
That's the saying of
So now
the season, bro.
It goes down to that thing where it's okay. Society, we give it to each other, bro.
Yeah.
Same thing with women. The way they
Society's a
dress and all of that. We tell them don't dress like this because it's us, bro. They dress like this because of us. Same thing with what we wanna get.
We have
They
those things
do it
because
that
of-
because of them. So it's like more of like correcting one another. You're saying, and maybe I guess we cannot do it collectively, but maybe you can pray that like maybe with the one person you meet, you do it together, and then the rest of the world is none of your business.
None of your business. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as you have a partner or a girl that you're pursuing that understands that, then you don't have to put yourself under any pressure to be somewhat of
Because-
alpha. I don't even.
Yeah,
Because the
as long
reality
as-
is, I'll be honest with you. The reality is, as much as you're saying that all these things that you wanna get, like baddest girl or baddest car or baddest
Whatever.
house,
Money.
is not necessary, and it doesn't mean you need to attain it, and it's not right. Honestly speaking, the person, maybe the guy who's working at KFC or whatever, like majority of women don't look at him, bro.
That's the sad
Honestly,
reality.
as much as
Unfortunately,
society
Unfortunately,
is saying this and
that's
it's not
the
right,
reality.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
any guy at KFC or whatever, they're not looking at you.
But you know what?
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what the sad thing is with the
but
guy at KFC? Man, just relax. It's fine.
No.
It's
Don't
fine.
relax.
The guy at
You have
KFC,
dreams. If you have
it's fine,
dreams, don't
relax.
relax. If you have dreams, don't relax. Yes, KFC is a start. Be okay with where you are at.
you're
Start
fine.
there.
It's
okay
be
to be
calm,
broke, not
and
to
Exactly,
be proud of it
exactly,
also. Be proud of
exactly,
it
bro.
and move on.
I won't lie.
But don't relax.
At the
Yeah,
end
you
of the
said,
day,
Talks just said it's okay to be broke, but don't stay broke. Yeah, but if you're the guy at KFC at the drive-through there, bro, relax, it's cool. You know,
hey man, bro, as
your
long
time
as
will come. The girl will find you. The girl will look at you. One will look at you, bro.
me,
You know what
bro,
I'm saying?
as long as my chicken's
Don't
bouncing,
care
bro.
though, bro. Just relax.
As long as my chicken's bouncing, bro, I'm gonna keep it up,
Hey,
bro. As long as the niggas eating good.
We wanna discuss a couple of few posts that we saw from an Instagram account called Woman for Change, South
SA,
Africa.
yeah.
Right? SA, yeah. Shout out to Woman for Change, by the way. We obviously
salute to them.
we are with the woman, you know, woman safety all the way. You know, that never goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we have women in all our lives. Guys. We have
Exactly.
mothers, we have sisters, we
Exactly.
have aunties, and you know everything. So, shout out to Women for Change. They definitely have an impact.
Yeah.
You know? We're always gonna
And they-
fight and promote for women's safety in this country because it's a topic that's always being spoken about and it's not being always taken serious enough. And we have to honestly start taking women's safety serious
Yeah,
so that the society is better. You know. Yeah. So
yeah. Shout out to them.
so shout out to Women for Change. you
Yeah.
know. But we saw very interesting some very interesting posts. And we just want to discuss just a few though. You know, it's gonna be a teachable moment for many men. So James, listen.
That's
Watching,
nice.
listen. You know, but
Let me do
we
this so you
would
can
love
see
if the
now.
woman could like add the
see
inputs in the
other
comment
My
section,
bad.
whatever.
The one that we're gonna start with is if you have an argument with your girlfriend, walk away, don't kill her. And bro, the first time I read, cause like they have two posts, like they have 9 for each. So in total they have 18. But what's this? Sorry, I lost my train of thoughts. Essentially, when I read this, I was like, wow, bro. Like the fact that they have to, I'm gonna use this term, but they have to dumb it down, you know, for us. Like they're saying, if you don't understand this, then you can't understand
Like
anything.
you know,
Like
no,
they've
if you
made
don't
it.
understand it, you're dumb.
They've made it simple.
Yeah.
So
Like, if you
so
don't
so
understand it,
so
you're
simple.
dumb.
And it's like
It's
it's
that
sad
simple.
because you have to go through these measures.
Yeah.
You know. So essentially,
Like they're not even typing paragraphs anymore. Man,
They're
please
not.
understand. They're just saying,
if you have
if
an
your
argument with your
girlfriend
girlfriend,
breaks up with you, walk away.
don't kill her.
Find support. Don't kill her. It's as simple as that, James. And honestly, it is as simple as that. It actually is, because yes, like Leslie did mention, yeah, you gotta be hurt, dog. Hey,
Yeah.
Joe, it's over sharp. Relax.
Exactly.
Calm down. You don't have to kill her. You understand? Like, I don't think people understand. Like, okay, she hurt you, but taking a life is a whole different thing. You went out of your way. You went out of your way, bro. It's a problem. You understand? You literally went out of your way. You can't justify that. I don't care how hurt you are.
Facts.
Can't justify that. You went out of your way. You understand? It's as simple as that, bro.
Yeah.
So I feel like as gents, we should just calm
Don't
down.
hurt her. Don't hurt yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Don't,
Don't hurt yourself
Don't
also.
because that's
but
not an
don't hurt
answer,
her, bro.
Like
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, she breaks up with you, but it's like, you know, look at her, thumbs up, deuces. Go about your life, go get your bag up. You work at KFC, she left you. It's cool. You know, you work at the driveway at KFC, it's cool though. Go get your bag up, bro. She'll come back, bro.
Another one I like-
Nah, I'm saying she'll be, yeah.
Nah, she won't come back.
It's
She
not even
mustn't
about
come
coming
back.
back.
Even if,
Nah,
and
she
even if she
won't-
does come
She
back,
don't even
Aye.
come
I
back
think
to
about
buy
it like
chicken,
that.
to buy
Yeah,
KFC.
yeah.
She can
You
come
know,
back
she
to
had
buy
a
and when she
chance.
comes back, you're the one owning the
it.
KFC.
And,
Also,
and like
yeah,
when she
bro.
comes back, don't be like, oh, how's your day? Just be like, yo, here's your meal.
Yeah,
Bye.
leave,
As
bro.
simple as that,
Yeah,
bro. Don't
bro,
start
yeah.
trying, you know, cook up your game and anything. Another one I want to read though is if you ask for her number and she says no, don't kill her. And you know, this one is so crazy because this Monday, I was at Rosebank with my boys, right, getting some eats, and there was this girl who was just chilling, and I was like, yo, bro, like, she's attractive, right? So my boys were hyping me up. They're like, yeah, go, right? And before
hyping you up.
before I go, another guy comes, right? And before, what's this? He could utter a word. She does this.
Yo.
She's like, she does this. And like, my boys see that and we start laughing, right? Because we were like, bro, I don't think she's doing that. Okay, I'm assuming maybe she's in a relationship or whatever, but as a woman now in South Africa, like, you don't even want to talk to guys at the mall anymore. Like, you just trying to get stuff at the mall and go. She was waiting for an Uber. She was by the Gautrain. She was by the Gautrain station, and she just put her hand to bro's face, and bro walked away. And like, it was funny at that time, but walking by, we're like, bro, this Lorato case really, like, it affects everyone, bro.
bro.
Like, now imagine if you have a Polo Vivo.
But do you
Nah,
think,
you're
do you
cooked,
think she
bro.
was scared of it?
I don't think she was good. I think she just had no game.
Nah, but he didn't say anything. He walked up to her.
that is deep.
So before
she's-
he
I feel
could
like
utter
She's
a
not
word.
interested.
I feel like
No, but then
I feel like
essentially-
at this point now,
Hence,
like
okay.
men are not gonna actually get women. The woman that you get is because she wanted you. Like, it's shy, bro. It's shy.
Yeah, you guys gotta share us now.
Yeah, you guys have to
Nah,
share us at this
nah,
point.
that'll never happen. That'll never happen,
I
bro.
disagree.
You
But
can
I,
share us. Now we will judge your game.
Yeah, at this point, bro.
At this point,
You know,
yeah.
we'll judge their game because it's like at this point, if
What can
men,
we do?
The game is just looking pretty. She's done.
Alright, bro. That's not shaky. What are you gonna do, bro?
yeah,
You're gonna fumble.
Anyway,
But what's this though? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I get, yeah.
But then what I'm trying to say, like, the message through
The
that
message,
is
yeah.
essentially like because of what has happened
Most
now.
of them would be like that. Yeah.
You know,
okay, we can ask. Have you gents ever asked to go for a number and she said no?
Yeah.
She hasn't.
yeah.
like, who hasn't on this weekend?
oh god, my bad.
you guys
Of course,
know-
really.
you
Okay,
guys
of course,
know-
really.
Shout out,
That's kind of really, bro.
Willie.
Nah, of course,
I ain't
really.
gonna lie. That's never happened to me. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But other things
Anyway.
have happened. I ain't gonna lie. But a number rejection or like you know, you ask for a number, like, no, but you can get my Instagram. Never happened. I ain't gonna lie. That's
I
never happened.
prepared it, bro.
But
play, actually.
other things have happened.
I like you had to make it known. You gotta make it
No, I'm
known.
joking. But other things have happened, like, you know.
Me, it's like
I
I,
don't
have
know.
a boyfriend. I'm like, you don't. It's fine.
How long have you had that problem?
Oh, yeah, that's a good response. That's a good response.
He's not a mountain.
The control one.
To control.
Oh yeah, must I read that one?
I took
Damn.
this one. Control is not love. Control is not love. If you need to control her, seek help. Don't kill her.
Listen, we had a big thing before this.
Hey.
Control. What is control? We ask ourselves, what is control?
Okay, I think we should all like, okay, what is control to you, bro? To you.
Yo, hi,
What is? Wait, I control another person. Bro, you can't
Control.
control.
Control is like telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Without them
just
having
adding
a say.
restriction.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
basically
control is.
taking away their agency from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they cannot do things themselves. That's what control is. Simple.
But like, okay, okay, couldn't you say a control is a way of another way of providing direction, in a way?
that's leading.
No, that's leading.
That's
You're confusing that. now.
like you
Leading and
you got
controlling is two
influence.
different
Like you can influence someone
Exactly.
to go in that direction. Like
It's one thing
compared to
do.
like saying
Okay,
no.
so can women confuse a man who's trying to lead as a man who's trying to control her?
They do.
They do.
Okay,
That's
so
what I'm
don't
saying.
can, they do.
okay, so
Okay, let's
okay,
elaborate.
thank you for
Let's
answering my question.
elaborate on
Thank you for answering my question. Because if women confuse a man who's trying to lead for a man who's trying to control,
But at the
I mean,
same
you can
time,
hear it.
But it's also the other way
here-
around
here's the
as well.
thing.
because
here's the thing.
because these are the same women who cry for a man. I want a man who must lead. Who must lead? Okay, I'm leading. I'm leading. Okay, now I'm controlling you. But you want me to lead though? You know what I'm saying? Women need to. I don't know.
At the same time, the thing is, some women also like are dating for safety, like survival now. You understand?
Yeah.
She would rather be with a guy with all the money, doesn't even talk to her, he just pays her. It's fine.
Is that survival now?
that's
You
all
don't
she
even
wants.
own your life.
That's crazy,
That's what
bro.
she wants. Yeah, that's how you view it now.
I mean, hey, bro, like we spoke
should
about,
allow-
Melemo said it the last time. Now relationships are becoming careers, you know.
Facts.
But like what I would say, like what really they saying is that like sometimes they do get it confused.
No. I
Also,
feel
as
like-
guys, when we think we're leading, we think we're controlling.
And no, but you only think that because of what the women keep saying. Like you, as a man, bro, you just stop saying things because it's like, okay, when I do what you want, which is a man who's gonna lead, a man who leads, a man who shows you the way, yada yada. You wanna be submissive to a man who's a bit more masculine, and a man who's gonna lead. In some ways, providing some characteristic of being a bit more masculine in the relationship, because you know women want to be a bit submissive at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? No woman wants to be fully, you know,
Yeah, true.
or wants
They
a man
want
to
to
be,
be,
yeah. And a leading as a man is a way allows a woman to be a bit submissive. It does, right? But sometimes, bro, women want a leader, but when he leads, he's a bit controlling. You know, sometimes when you
But then
Look,
sometimes
I think it's an example. Like maybe an example we could use the most is like outfits for argument.
Yeah,
That has
outfits.
been a case.
Yeah, an
we've been
outfit,
arguing.
yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't like you wearing that. Now, there's the leading part and the controlling part just within that. Now, controlling is you not wearing that. Leading is like, yo, I don't want you to wear that. I don't want you to wear that. Not to say, like, I'm still giving you a choice. It's that I don't want you to wear that. And I cannot be wrong for me saying that. I don't want you to wear that. But I'm not saying you cannot wear that. That's where the difference
it's up to
is.
you.
But now, the problem is that that's when they miss it. Because now, remember, now they will just say, if you are not giving them the answer they want, then you're controlling.
I remember a vivid example of a Twitch stream. I'm not going to say his name for safety and her name as well. But then during the live, they broke up because they were both going out, but then she was wearing a skirt. And he was like, you must think I'm an idiot if you think I'm going to lie to God with that. And she was like, whoa, who are you talking to? And of course, they got into an argument. So the way he addressed it, but then of course, you know, if you're just the way Sia says, you know, calm and you're polite, but you're being firm, essentially you can't be offended by that, because my tone is not necessarily to degrade you, but I'm just trying to show you a different way of perspective rather. So I think it's like, how do you take it, bro?
sometimes you just need to allow people to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know, stop looking at people for what they could be and what they are.
Yeah, true. And I just think I think it's just important to understand that, like, sometimes with maybe women, maybe even other men, sometimes you're only controlling to them when you're telling them something that they don't want to hear, bro. Sometimes
That's the thing.
you understand. Sometimes I'm only controlling now because I'm saying something that you don't want to hear. But if I say something you want to hear, oh no, he's trying to communicate, he's not being controlling. But if I say something you don't want to hear, no, he's not communicating, he's being controlling. You understand? There's too many things. So I think it's a thing of like, it's one of those things where it's like, bro, it's who you're dealing with, bro.
Wow. The next one is like,
It is really who you're dealing with.
my bad. It says, if she wears a beautiful dress or a short skirt, don't kill her.
Yeah,
That can be looked at on both sides. It can be looked at on the side.
Yeah, that's kind of the
that's,
dressing
that's
thing
her
as well.
man.
That's why I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it can
dressing
be looked
thing.
at on the side of that's her man and she's wearing this and now he got angry. Or it can be looked at from she went out with that outfit and some man decided to prey on her. You see?
And you can also look at it from
Sad.
the perspective like, why do men look at a woman who dress like that always as like a thing,
Like a
think-
bulb.
why we making them uncomfortable? Or,
But I think
Objectification.
yeah, but
Yeah,
also
it
like
is.
what you're saying, thing of like control, like a lot of men lack self control. Like they'll look at a woman in a
Definitely, that's the
dress
thing.
and be like,
100%.
Yeah,
this is
that's
the
the thing.
opportunity.
Yes.
Just because she's wearing
I
that,
know, right.
fairs.
There's
Like,
the
you're like,
unfortunate
this
thing
is
is
the
that there's
Exactly.
idiots who
Yeah.
exist and be like, oh, she looked at me 3 times. Let me go do my thing. Or she smiled at me. Like, can you relax?
yeah.
Can you speak to her?
So the friends say, nah, bro, she looked at you, bro. Come on.
Yeah, that's so facts. Like, you have the hype measure, like, yeah, bro, she's definitely talking to
He
you.
definitely wants you, bro.
Exactly.
Come on, bro.
So, and I mean,
But
like,
do you
those
guys,
things.
do you guys think women just like that on purpose?
I
Sometimes.
mean,
Bro, like, dog, the thing is, you're
95%
not the
of the
guy.
time.
You're not the guy. Like,
think?
look, like, there's,
90% of the
like,
time.
my child, you're not the guy. That's the thing. They're just like that, but you're not the guy they're looking for.
or sometimes
Because
you
my
can-
child is like, there are guys who approach and they succeed because those were the guys they wanted. Because I won't lie,
she
dog,
chose.
there are outfits that are not appropriate, bro. There are. We cannot lie and say all outfits that women wear are appropriate. But it's just that you are not the guy she's looking for. There is another guy who would have done the same thing you did. Just that you are not the guy.
You're not that guy.
You know, when it comes to situations of a girl being in the gym and she's wearing whatever, like tight,
The leggings,
leggings
yeah.
and all that. There you cannot judge because that's the environment for her to wear that. I mean, it's comfortable to gym in outfits like that, you know. And obviously, another funny thing about that is, I think it also goes down to body type, which is a last thing, which is a man's problem.
I think we should say
Because
it's last.
another woman with a body type like this can be wearing that, but it's appropriate. But then when another woman with a different body type is wearing that, it's not appropriate. You know. So then that's number one, which is a judgmental thing. With like,
And it's funny.
like, why
it's funny.
we can't
It's,
judge
it's
that?
not appropriate because it's the body type you like.
Exactly. So now it's
Doesn't
like
make
it's making you
sense.
feel some type of
Doesn't
way.
make sense.
So
Yeah,
now you
but
say
it's
not
appropriate because it's the body type you don't like.
You don't
Yeah,
like.
but
you
it
know?
also goes into like
So weird.
like what he's saying, like your type, like it's been hypersexualized, like,
Exactly.
the curves and
With the
everything.
curves, yeah.
So some gents would look at it and be like, okay, it's acceptable. Some gents would be like, nah, and then we can accept it
So weird.
to the point where some gents don't even will take it a step further. So
Definitely.
I think it goes to what we were saying earlier about the guy that had like was paying the girls' school fees and stuff like that. And already that control part, like you've got the incentive of like, yeah, I'm paying this, I'm paying this, I'm paying this. Already that patriarchal concept into men of like, I'm the provider, you feel that you're entitled to those things. So I think it does based on that.
I think it has to do with like other men who have those patriarchal ideals. They look at another woman and be like, hey, what kind of man would let his wife go out like that? I know I wouldn't. You know? Which sucks because now she can't wear what she wants because you wouldn't let your woman wear that. That's you, bro. Like, she's not your woman. She's not yours to keep. She's not yours
But I
to...
can ask you something.
Come
When you were to have a wife, are there certain things where you would not allow or you would allow to wear whatever?
I won't lie.
Yeah, I don't
Those,
lie, bro.
in my opinion, like when it comes to those leggings at the gym, me personally, no. And I know, of course, it's a thing of like comfortability and all of that.
For your own sanity.
It's for my own sanity, to be honest with you, because it goes back to the thing of like, I know how guys think. And I don't want those lustful intentions to have in their head to be you. So essentially, that's me. And is it controlling? Unfortunately, it is. You know, that's the reality of it, in my
I
opinion.
don't think it's
I-
controlling.
I don't think it's controlling. I feel like to a certain
I
degree it
think-
is, but okay.
Like telling her that you cannot wear that to the gym. You think that you'd be controlling her.
Not even that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, bro.
I think it's as I said before. Let people do what they want to do. I mean, I don't lie. Now that we have this whole thing with like the gender-based violence and women are not safe in our country anymore, that's the only time. That's probably the only reason why I'd feel like it's not really safe. You know, I don't feel comfortable with you wearing that because I don't know. It might be a detriment to your safety. However, on the other end, I'm not that insecure that I think that you're out there shaking bums for some other guy. I don't
Yeah.
really care. You're my woman. You're showing them you know, that hey,
I'm
it's
not
my
for
wife. You know,
Yeah.
I look at him like, yeah,
Thanks.
that one there.
You'll be proud of it.
That's
It's like,
me.
yeah, it's fine.
That's
like,
me. That's me.
Walk.
You know.
Yeah.
The couple
Exactly.
is yours.
Exactly. I'll hype her up too.
No,
Like,
that's facts.
you know.
Yeah, but going to that point is like, I mean, obviously at the gym, bro. Like, I don't want to say anything goes. I mean, obviously, a woman cannot gym in a bikini, so yeah, not anything. But it's a matter of.
But at the same
it's
time,
all
if a guy
about
went to gym
environment.
in his boxes,
Hmm?
if a guy went to gym in his boxes,
Yeah.
or like that underpen that's like,
Speedo.
I mean, look,
The
bro.
speedo.
I mean, look, bro. At the end of the day, now,
'Cause, you know, it's,
at the end of the day, we need to take it down to like the basis, bro. Sometimes a man just wants the woman to respect his opinion. That's it. Simple as that. Because at the end of the day, now, no matter what, you look good in that two-piece, but I'm just not comfortable with you in it. It's not because I don't think you look nice in it or I care about how other men are gonna view you. You're beautiful in it, but I'm not comfortable with you wearing that. If you're gonna respect your opinion or not, that's what a man wants, just to respect my opinion. Okay? At the end of the day, nah, do what you wanna do. It's fine. I'm not gonna control you, but are you gonna respect my opinion? Now that shows me the woman I'm dealing with, because I'm disclosing my discomforts with her, but is she gonna respect them? Now, what she does with me disclosing that information,
You'll tell
that tells me
everything about
everything
her.
about the woman I'm dealing
exactly
with.
everything.
You understand?
Everything.
So I'm not controlling you. I'm just telling you what I'm uncomfortable with. It's as
and you
simple
let
as
her
that.
do what she does.
And you can do
Yeah,
what you
let her
want
do
to do.
whatever she wants.
You
to.
understand?
So
Just let her know.
let's say she respects it, but she does what she wanted to do. What action would you take from
I'm
it?
leaving.
I'm
Done.
leaving.
I'm
Oh,
leaving the relationship.
not your girth.
We're leaving.
We
It's
leave.
as simple as that.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to ask you guys a question. I know it's a bit off, but I just want to see where your mindset is for this. Nah? When it goes to a spa or whatever, and your woman, you know, at a spa when they massage, they massage naked and all of that, but obviously with a towel.
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable with your woman being massaged by a man?
No.
Yes.
Me personally, I have a girlfriend now. Me and have had this conversation. I told her no. You know,
Okay.
yeah, I said nah, you know. And then she said also she doesn't want a woman massaging me. And I was like, that's kind of gay, but I was like, okay, it's cool.
So, but that's the thing. What you see?
I know.
What would you want? That's where I wanted to go.
Because you
That's where I
find it
wanted to go.
acceptable to
Wait,
say.
like now,
If it's the other way around,
now,
like, wait,
now
that's
it's like,
all.
now with you, what do you want? What do you want?
No, listen.
But
listen.
then
I've had this conversation with my partner, bro. Actually, because she was like, now when we go to a thing, when I let a man massage me, I'm like, no, a man cannot massage you, man. Like, no, nah. It's like, okay, we did it. Then a woman can massage you. I'm like, why? That's normal. It's like, no, I'm
You
uncomfortable with it.
you see-
a man must massage you. I'm like, hey, that's kind of gay though. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's fine. Just for peace sake, a woman will massage a woman, a man must massage a man. Simple as that.
Aye.
But
Me, I won't lie.
I understand
If
if
another man is touching me funny,
But now you see,
Exactly.
now
That's what I'm
you
trying to
can
say.
see what to what extent what we're going to
Yeah.
like accept
Yeah.
based on circumstances. Because it's like if it's
yeah.
on the other foot, you're like, it's not. It's not
Yeah.
But Mina,
But it's
yeah,
it's a
double
thing of like
standards, dog. They're
it's
gonna
like- it's like
exist
I'm
whether we like it
contradicting
or not.
myself.
Double
Yeah.
standards are
I'm
gonna
contradicting
exist.
myself, but like I don't know.
Double standards are gonna exist.
Yeah, you guys-
That's the thing,
eh,
unfortunately. But
yeah.
hey, dog, if a
I
guy
think
goes,
there's
if a
something
guy
you
goes
guys
too
are
far up
missing.
my
That's the
thigh, I won't lie.
I
just
think there's something you
expecting.
guys are missing. It's not about the gender or whatever. It's the type of guy who's gonna massage.
But wait,
Because
no.
my child is if it's
This
a
guy's
So you're saying
those are
if it's
muscular.
like
Asian,
Like you're saying, like,
whatever.
nah,
If it's
let's
an
come
Asian
down.
old man, you know this Thai
Yeah,
spa
the
or whatever.
old men, yeah,
if it's
yeah.
Asian old men,
Oh no, and it's as simple as small things like this.
I mean, what
would
could
you
happen?
would you let okay? Would you prefer?
Same thing with
would you no? As simple as this. Would you prefer a straight man to give a woman a massage or a gay man to give a woman a massage?
Okay, man.
Gay man.
a gay man.
That's not.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, gay man.
Yeah,
Is that's a better
honest.
answer.
Yeah,
To be
okay.
honest.
Because now he's massaging a woman, he's like these the whole time.
Yeah, but like I think
there.
the thing
Digging
is
his dick.
the thing is
Hey, yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see that it's not about the gender.
No, it's not.
Or the
Because if
sexuality.
I can give you the type of guy who will massage, and you'll be like, okay, this guy is fine. Sure. Okay, this woman is fine. If it's an old woman who's gonna massage, I don't think she'll have a problem. But you don't want a man touching you,
Yeah.
Yeah, if
whether straight or
Okay.
gay man.
Okay,
You don't want
I'm
any
cool.
man touching you.
Okay,
You
sharp,
see?
butcher.
So I don't think it's about the gender.
Sharp vibe.
It's about the type of person who's gonna be massaging.
Yeah.
That's it.
But other than that, I won't lie.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you let us know how you guys feel in the comment section. Um,
Yeah, that was a lot.
it is a lot, so you guys can let us know. But besides that, hope you guys had a good one. It was definitely listening for me, being a part of this conversation. So I appreciate you boys for that. Make sure to show the guests some love as well on the social media platforms. If you're lucky, you might see talks on TikTok live, so you'll know. But besides that,
Yeah, you can't use on live, this guy.
let them know how you guys feel and all of that. And also show us love, please. Also believe on your social media platforms. Ours, so not yours. Hey, calm down. Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, please. And don't forget, if you are able to support Policia and Boyz Aloud when it comes to merch. But besides that, that's everything from the boys. Much love. See you guys in the next one.